What is up, guys? So today I want to talk about my plans for the TBC launch, how I'm going to level and what I'm going to do at max level, how I'm going to make as much gold as possible while also enjoying the TBC expansion as much as possible. I am going to start this video by saying that I love gold farming, and I also realize that the gold per hour from gold farms are at an absolute peak early in the expansion, because a lot of people will need the new materials, so I'm very lucky in that regard because I can farm gold without getting bored because I actually enjoy it, and not everyone's in the same boat, but hey, this is my plan for TBC's launch. So first off, I'm going to boost up a Druid with a level 58 boost in the TBC pre-patch, and that will be the first character that I will level up in TBC, and it will be my first gold farming character. Druids in general are just fantastic for gold farming, because you have so many different gold farms available to you. You can tag your mobs quickly with Moonfire, and AoE them down or slowly burn them down over time with Moonfire and Insect Swarm, and you can also utilize your flight form to fly around and gather herbs, and mining veins as well. Plus, if stealth farming inside dungeons becomes a thing, you can do that as well. Basically, you have a lot of different options available to you, so if one type of farm becomes boring, you can go and do something else and still farm gold, and that's how I keep myself going when it comes to gold farming, switching it up when getting bored. My leveling plan itself is pretty simple, and that is to find a group to do dungeons with and then do dungeons all the way to level 70, with the small exception of doing Ring of Blood at level 65, as well as the Carousel Attunement quest, which also involves doing dungeons, so long story short, it's going to be a lot of dungeons. One good thing here is that RestedXP is planning to come out with a dungeon leveling guide for TBC as well, which is going to be a really cheap guide for about 10 bucks or something, that you can grab if you're interested, and the link is in the description and a pinned comment. Once I get to level 70, the plan is to start farming gold ASAP. The optimal situation would be to be in the first wave of people to get to level 70, then grab my epic flying and start flying around looking for herb and mining spawns, and literally just farm Herbalism and mining until I fall asleep in my chair. Herbalism and mining will be insanely lucrative early in TBC, because the demand for herbs will be super high, as people are skilling up their alchemy both on their main and their transmute alts, and the demand for ores will be at an absolute all-time high, because of jewel crafting and blacksmithing. I expect jewel crafting to bring in a lot of demand for ores, but don't sleep on blacksmithing. Blacksmithing will also pump the values of those ores up quite a bit, as several melee classes will look for ores and bars to skill up blacksmithing ASAP to craft their best in slot weapons, which in most cases are insane DPS upgrades, and people are absolutely willing to spend lots of gold to get their best in slot weapons as early as possible in a new expansion. You also have the fact that there will be several layers active at the launch of TBC, and if they do the same thing in TBC as they did in Classic WoW, then they will gradually remove those layers starting already after about a month, so you definitely need to take advantage of those layers while you can. I'm not saying you should realm hop or anything, or that you need to realm hop, but the fact that there are several layers means there will be more minerals available on every single layer, because not everyone is farming on the same layer, if that makes sense. But layer jumping could also increase your gold per hour while farming minerals, if you can figure out a way to do it efficiently. Now here's the thing, right, I love making content and I love testing out different gold farms and finding the most optimal one, so my plan would be to do a lot of different gold farms and see which ones are viable and how much gold per hour they will give, so that's going to be my focus. Basically, the first 24 hours after hitting level 70, I might spend a lot of time doing Herbalism and mining, then after that it's all about testing out different gold farms, both in the open world and in instances, and see how much gold per hour you can get from different gold farms, and I will post the best ones here on YouTube to help you guys out as well. I would like to do some heroic dungeons as well to grab some gear, and preferably I would spend 24 to 48 hours farming Herbalism and mining after launch, then rush through a couple of heroic dungeons for gear, and then test out different gold farms that require killing mobs, because with some heroic gear, the efficiency of those farms will go up quite a bit. Not much, but a little bit, which makes the results more relevant and realistic as well, as I do think most people will run a few heroic dungeons either before farming, or in between farming sessions. When it comes to long-term gold making in TBC itself, I'm planning on leveling up a protection Paladin, and gearing that one up as well, and I think I'll do this a couple of weeks into TBC, when the value of gold farms and the initial rush for TBC has gone down a little bit, so I don't feel like I'm wasting my time, when I could have spent that time making a lot of gold. The reason for this is that protection paladins are absolutely insane when it comes to long-term gold making in TBC, as they can do a lot of different AoE farms, both in the open world and inside Stratholm and Skullomance, both of which might actually turn into experience boost strategies as well, and could give you anywhere from 250 to 500 gold per hour quite steady. Now I know a lot of people don't want to jump on the dungeon farming meta, but to me it just makes sense as you can level pretty fast, you can play with your friends, you can grind reputation, and do your carousel attunements all at once, with the added benefit of not having to do any quests in the open world, which is always an absolute shit show at the launch anyway. Even with layers you will have to compete for mob tags, and it's always pretty annoying. I'm also planning on leveling several alts throughout Classic TBC that I plan to quest on, so by not questing on my main, I can enjoy questing a lot more on my alts, as I won't have gone through those quests previously, so it will be more of a fresh experience, at least when I level my first alt. And by dungeon grinding I can also get myself some really good gear which will help me out in certain gold farms when I do reach level 70, and by having all of my attunements done and all of my heroic keys ready, I can also enjoy other aspects of the game other than gold farming when I want to do so as well, so I'm basically hitting multiple birds with one stone. At the end of the day, my entire plan for the launch itself is to play the game in a way that I think I will enjoy the game, without burning myself out, and I think this is the exact way to do that, because by dungeon grinding you might get sick of doing dungeons, at which point I will just go to the open world and do some gold farming, and then when I'm going to level up an alt further down the line, I can do quests on that alt, and it will be a brand new experience, since I haven't done Outland quests before, other than on a TBC beta. The only thing I'm kinda missing out on when going for dungeon farming is the fact that you can gather some herbs and ores while questing, if you choose to level by questing, but I believe getting to 70 fast and efficient will make up for it, as you can then use the epic flying mount to gather minerals more efficiently. So that is pretty much my plan for the TBC launch itself. I'm also planning on streaming most of it, so make sure you follow me on Twitch. I am also curious, what is your plan for the TBC launch? Will you dungeon grind to 70, or will you quest your way to level 70? Maybe you're even crazy enough to mob grind to level 70 to farm a lot of gold while leveling? Either way, let me know in the comments down below. And that is pretty much it for this video, guys. If you did enjoy it, remember to tap that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and make sure you subscribe for more TBC content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.